Today we're going to be talking about keeping elderly connected. So it's not a new concept that elderly are really struggling in today's times. They're really struggling to adapt to technology, and this has only been further enhanced by COVID. The need for businesses to go online at rapid pace, and it's having a number of downstream impacts on elderly who just aren't keeping up. They're feeling incredibly isolated from their communities. It's having impacts on their mental health and a number of downstream impacts on their physical health as well. Additional to this, they're also feeling more isolated in their communities themselves. This is also as a result of COVID. It has meant that a number of community groups, hobby groups, friendship clubs that they used to attend have dwindling numbers or have had to shut down. And those are places that were really important for them to go in order to build connection, to talk to one another, and even in the case of actually working together to actually learn how to use technology, these were great forums to do so. They're a face-to-face generation. They really need that face-to-face interaction. Learning how to use services, if it is that they need to use online platforms, they need that face-to-face support to enable them to learn. Through the stories we've been gathering, we have been hearing some really great potential solutions to this, and would love to put a few forward to you to have a think about. The first is, what can we do around building mentorship type relationships between youth and elderly? These can be reciprocal. There's a number of youth out there that really need the wisdom and those life skills that elderly have lived their lives on to be passed down and to be ingrained in them. But also youth are the geniuses in the technological worlds. There's a lot that elderly can learn from youth. Another potential opportunity, how can businesses actually prioritise this group when they look to move their services online? How can they really look at, I guess, that customer experience and how they can ensure that they're not leaving our grey-haired heroes behind, that they're designing transition pathways that take into account elderly. We all know that the user experience or the interactions on these platforms are getting better and better. But what would a platform look like that's purely designed for elderly? How do we ensure that their experience is as simple as possible, that telehealth is as accessible as possible for elderly? You know, they can just access it at the click of a button. That banking isn't as complicated as it currently is, that they can pay for their groceries, that they can pay for all of their essential items without any hassle. There has to be ways that we can really simplify these experiences for elderly and make the step and transition into using these services much easier for this group.